Hey, welcome back to my mini moat restoration project. So I'll just give you an update of where I'm at today. I've started preparing the body for undercoat. So just fixing dents, leveling out the bodywork. So far pretty happy with it. So what I'm doing today is just picking up the low spots and yeah, and then I'll just sand that down again. But really happy with it at this point. I've also finished all the seam sealing underneath. So yeah, progressing pretty well. So I've got some 2-pack high fill primer that we'll run through with after, but this is all my paint. This is the 2-pack high fill primer, high build primer. So the plan is that I've got my Raptor, now it's tintable. At the back here I've got my top coat colour. This one's tintable, so I'll be doing underneath tinted. I had sort of thoughts about doing sort of predominantly half the floor with the Raptor, but I'm sort of moving away from that idea at the moment because what I've heard, it can get sort of sharp edges on it and it may not be too good. But anyway, I'll do the underneath, see how it looks. Really happy with the way the bodywork's coming up at the moment. I was a bit concerned because it wasn't a strength of mine, but yeah, looking good. So that's the project today. Rear clip's just about finished. Front clip, I'm going to put that back in today just to drill. When I put the floor in, I only temporarily drilled small pilot holes for these. So okay, start again. GoPro battery went flat, so I've got you plugged in permanently now. So what I'm doing this morning is I'm removing the seam sealer on these inside panels. I didn't like it. Had I sprayed over it with the undercoat, it's just a very uneven finish because of the way I applied it, and I think it's just user error. So what I've done here, I've ground it out with wire brush, which you can see here, and that seemed to pull it out quite okay, so I was happy with that. It's not too big a job. But what I've done a test panel here with the just with body filler, and I'm a lot happier with that. It just looks a lot smoother than the seam sealer would have. So as you can see over this side, I've pulled it out with the wire brush as well. I'm going to do along these panels. I may do that with seam sealer again, but a lot neater this time. I'll just do a very fine bead right on the joint, I think. If I'm not happy with it, I'll pull it out again and do it with body filler. So underneath I'll leave the seam sealer in, but I just want the inside to look nice and smooth, and you can see there, there's nothing wrong with that at all, and that was a quick fix. So there's no seam sealer on the inside of this panel goes along here, so I can't see any problem with not having seam sealer along the top edge anyway. So no water will get down in there, but it could get in from underneath, but it would have got in from underneath with seam sealer regardless of what I put across the top here. So that's my plan today. Other than that, the body feeler is going pretty well. I'm just setting up for the paint. 2-pack 2K high fill primer, so I'll give that a crack today. Comes with the primer hardener. I've got the spec sheet on it which tells me how to thin it as well. I've got if I need to thin it. Bought myself some of these things for just filtering out any crap in the paint, and a new spray gun as well. The spray gun kit was just the Amazon one, dirt cheap, but we'll see how it goes. It also has a small spray gun as well, which I think will be very handy for getting it up inside these areas. So that's enough of that. We'll come back when I'm starting to paint. But in the interim, my task today is grind out the grind out the seam sealer. We'll take the seam sealer out and prepare the car for the high build primer. I've bought some more self-etching primer. I've read the spec sheet on the high build primer. It is fine over bare metal, but big areas of bare metal, it suggests that you use an etching primer. So I'm going to paint the floor, the base, the rear floor, underneath patches like this of bare metal. I'm going to hit with the etching primer just to make sure. And then this afternoon, hopefully I'm ready to do the first coat at least of the high build primer. I've ground out all the Sikaflex to a degree. I'm quite happy. It's just taken it off the surface but left it in the gaps where I needed it. So I'm just going to leave it like that, to be honest. I'm going to do what I've done here on these top parts of these quarter panels just to blend it in better. I'm going to do that with putty. But in general, the wire brush trims up that Sikaflex beautifully. It pulls it off the metal, and I've just used a bit of thinners. Once it's sort of broken the surface of it with the wire brush, the thinners, you can wipe it off everywhere. So I'm pretty happy with that. So success. So I'll continue on now. I'm just going to bog up these parts here with some filler and go from there. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, well, where I'm up to today, I've just had to pull the rear rotisserie off so I could get to this back panel. I've done 2 coats of primer on underneath and on the top, but then I've had to go around and re-putty some places that I wasn't happy with, etc. So before I do any more priming, I want to finish this back. So today I want to get that finished, squared up, new coat of primer all over. I've had 2 on the top, but I'd like to get 3 or 4, just so I can then sand it back and get it ready for colour. So I'm hoping I'll get that done today, and then tomorrow I'll do the Raptor, tinted Raptor underneath if I finish the top here. So that's the plan today. So what I've done along the rear here, it's a bit wobbly, but I'm making sure this panel where the number plate is flat, and then each of these panels is flat. My thinking is because of this recess, it's not as if you're looking a lot across one completely flat panel. So as long as each individual panel is flat, they should look okay once it's got the paint on it. That's my theory. So time will tell. And I've come up with another little change I'll show you in a minute. Bodywork is not my strength. Can you see what I'm doing here? Yep. It's not my strength, so I'm taking it slow, doing one layer, then another layer, then another layer till I get it right. So far it seems to be working okay. See, the number plate will go here, so to be honest, you won't see any imperfections if there is any. I'm doing my best to make sure there's not. I'll just show you the change I have made. This bottom edge along here was up and down wobbly, both underneath, not too bad, and this way a little bit. But my thinking was, if you're standing back looking at it, that would jump out. So I'm just going to put this bit of angle iron up there. It's going to be bolted through the main subframe support, and going to give it a perfect line and support it. So if you ever clip the bottom or whatever, but I think that will look sensational. Nice, clear, solid line, and will hide any imperfections, any waves in that bottom. That's my plan and my theory. These guards have been replaced by the previous owner, but in here is where they've joined them is a little bit pitted there, so I've just filled that up with bog. But getting in there, you can do it by hand, but I find this little oscillating sander just ideal for this. Perfect. What I like about it is you can change the speed, this variable speed. So you can go slow or hard if you like. Really. Okay. Looks pretty good. Just needs a little bit more along here. It's a little bit low just there, I think. A bit of guide code on it just to see.